All right. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, and welcome to our last day, this end of this fabulous 3-day challenge. I really hope that you guys have learned a lot. You have some decisions to make. You got a lot of information, and use it wisely. So tonight I am going to introduce Mr. Thomas Harrison, and he's going to come and talk to you guys about commercial insurance. Now, we done learned about health insurance, whole life insurance, like all of this being our responsibility as entrepreneurs. We learned about government contracts, buying a house, self-love and mental health when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we talked a lot about motivation. And of course, you guys always know that I'm talking about having a coach and having a mentor to help you guys along this journey. So if you're just now joining us and you don't necessarily know who I am, my name is Maria Vincent, and I am a wife, a mom of 4 beautiful kids, and I am a boss lady. I am here at Boss Lady University to help you guys learn about entrepreneurship, to either take your idea, turn it into a business, and then turn it into a 6-figure business, or help you with just the foundation. So that is me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Thomas Harrison. I am a father of 1 beautiful daughter. I am a boyfriend, fiance, all of that good stuff, just to add that in there. But I also am a commercial insurance producer, commercial property and casualty for a company called Graham Company, which was founded in Philadelphia and has expanded into the DC area. We have clients in all 50 states. We work with medium to large size companies on all of their commercial insurance, from their property, their general liability, their commercial auto, cyber, tech, workers' comp, and anything else that you can think of. So yeah, proud to be here. Happy to be here.
Welcome. So we are about to educate these ladies on commercial insurance. And so my first question to you is, why do small businesses need commercial insurance? Like, we're, small businesses that sometimes work in our home, or we have a small little office or anything. Why do we need commercial insurance?
The very simple answer is America is litigious. They will sue you for anything at all. And it really does not matter whether or not they win the lawsuit, they will sue you. You still have to defend the lawsuit if they bring it to you. So you have to pay your lawyers, you have to pay court costs, things of that nature. That's even if you win. If you lose, you will still have to pay those fees, and you'll have to pay whatever the losses are. Also, if you are, if your business is not from home, let's say you actually own an office building or you rent an office building, but especially if you own the place that you do your work, there are losses that you can have to your business. I mean, the same way it is with your car. If you crash your car or somebody hits your car and it's your fault, then you have to pay that. If it's the same with your business, if a fire burns down your building, or if a cyber threat comes and hacks your billing system, and then gets customer information, you may be liable for that, so forth and so on. So it protects you, it protects your business. And when you really think about insurance in general, it's the reason business is able to exist. You couldn't have business if every time someone sued you or every time you had a loss, you had to take that out of your own profits and pay. It would bankrupt you, and you wouldn't be able to continue your business. So insurance is that backbone and that lifeline that allows businesses to continue to stay in business and continue to get better.
Right. So I like what you said as far as, Americans right now, they will sue you over any and everything. So, and especially as a small business. So let's just say, you make body butters, right? You do your own mix, or you do hair and you selling shampoos and you selling oils and you make it yourself. And let's say they break out. or something happened, they're suing you. Now, if they was to go into Walmart and get, that Cantu or, whoever, and they break out, they're like, oh, shoot, I don't, they're not going to use it anymore. Very rarely is, are they going to go and sue this big old company, but you, as a small business owner, they're going to sue you. So we don't typically think about that when we're starting our business. And we're just like, I have this great idea. I'm super excited. I'm just about to jump in here and do it. And we forget to cover ourselves. And I talk a lot about, getting an LLC versus sole proprietor, because once you form and become an LLC and you do it properly, you're separating yourself personally from your business, so that if someone comes and they sue you and you lose that case and you owe however much you owe, they're not going to come after your personal. They're going to keep it strictly to your business. So how does one start the research of commercial insurance?
So the very first thing is just really understanding your business and what you're trying to do with your business. I was on the phone with a Black woman-owned architecture company not too long ago.
Nice.
And they went from their first contract was $200,000, to a $4 million contract. Right now, what you're growing in scale, you are growing in, and when you grow in scale, what your company does, the actual functions of your company, and how large the contracts that you sign to do your business, you grow in liability. Insurance just covers your liability. So if you mess up or if something happens to your business, that it's covered. So, that is the first thing you need to know: what you're doing, where you're going, and hopefully you can get with someone who is a true consultant to your business, and they can point out to you what you may be liable for, what potential things may happen. But all of us, believe it or not, know insurance people. We may not have thought about talking to them about business insurance. We may just have went to them, and did a transactional car insurance, or home insurance or renter's insurance. But really, if you want to protect your business, talking with someone who knows insurance and understanding that. But you can start that with either within your own network, or you can go online. Believe me, there's plenty of people that are willing to talk to you about it.
Okay, awesome. So, ladies, for those of you, actually, it doesn't matter what field you're in or career or whatever. If you do hair, if you sell product, you want to go and, first, I would say research and figure out what questions to ask, because sometimes we don't even know what questions to ask, because you could have a product-based business, you could be a service-based business. And then, so that I would think that that's two different areas that you have to cover, to where, like you said, if it's a fire and all your product burns down, do you want to make sure that's covered? You want to know how much inventory you have. So I would even say with that, you got to do inventory. You got to keep track of what's coming in, what's coming out. So this is a lot of stuff, again, that as new entrepreneurs, you don't think about. And again, that's might be why you should probably stay on your 9 to 5 a little bit longer than to just jump out there, because it's going to cost money. It's going to cost. Being an entrepreneur is expensive. I was just talking to my mentor about that recently. Being an entrepreneur is expensive, and we don't think about that, because we think about those goals of, I'm about to hit 6 figures, or I'm about to get to 1 million, I'm about to do whatever. You get like that lady who got that 4 million contract. That's not all profit. A lot of that goes to paying people to, now you got to have a bigger insurance policy. You probably got to have a building. Like it's a lot that comes out of that. And it's a lot of responsibility the more money you make. So I know you said that you work with medium to large type companies. Just out of curiosity, what is that price range like when you have because again, our goals is like, I want to hit 6 figures, or I want to hit a meal, I want to hit whatever. We're not thinking about that price tag, or what just insurance looks like once you hit that price tag.
So actually, I want to circle back quickly. You talked about it being expensive dollar-wise, but entrepreneurship is expensive time-wise also. You went back and talked about knowing your inventory. You may not have ever done that before, and that takes time. Going back.
You gotta learn it. You gotta learn how to do that.
You're never off the clock. So you don't become an entrepreneur to work less.
Yeah, exactly.
To work
You're
more.
working more.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
For a small business, depending on what you are insuring, it can start as low as $20 a month. But as you get larger, you have more equipment and assets in your name and under your care. You have more property. You maybe
Mhm.
start owning your office space, or your warehousing or your manufacturing spaces, or whatever it may be. And you have more liability, obviously, because you have more products out there. At some point in time, you may have cars, fleets of cars that you use, and you might need to get commercial insurance, because believe it or not, well, not believe it or not, you should know that using your own personal car for business, depending on what your personal auto says, it may not cover you when you're doing a business deal and you're using your auto
That's good to
for your
know.
business. So,
That's really good to know.
yes,
Yeah.
big thing is insurance companies. Um, they base their pricing off of they are for-profit companies. They base their pricing on how they're going to be able to cover whatever losses they anticipate you having, and others in your industry anticipate you having, and still being able to turn a profit.
Mhm.
So they want to know what it is that they are insuring. So say, for instance, for auto, if they do not know that you are using your car as a business, for your business, and you're using it maybe more than 50% for your business, now you get in a car accident, and your insurance company, your personal insurance company, is going to say, we don't cover that because you were using it in the form of your
Mhm.
business. So they want to make
Mhm.
sure that they know. So it is
That is an
important.
excellent point. And I just want to just a little bit on that, because a lot of us hear that when we think about being an entrepreneur and thinking about cars and, using it for a business or going to get a vehicle in our business name, that's a difference too, because a lot of people want to go get that G-Wagon because they hear, let me get a G-Wagon because I can write it off on my taxes. But guess what? That's actually, from my understanding, I haven't done it because I do use my personal for business. But when you go and you get a vehicle in your business name, that insurance is actually more expensive.
Right.
So you really have to weigh your options. Are you going to go get the vehicle in your business name? Are you going to go and get it in your personal name and use it for business? And then making sure that you follow the proper channels, because if you use it more as far as for your business and you get into an accident, what's going to happen? So it is a lot to think about. It's a lot to process and just weigh out your options, because again, financially, what's going to work best for you and your business. And just like a quick example, if you have multiple businesses, like everybody want to have all these multiple businesses, and I'm speaking about myself. And so like I have my Pretty Princess, and Pretty Princess has a building, and Pretty Princess has inventory, and we have all these furnishings. And so we went and got that insured. That was easy. But then we do summer camp. And it's like, okay, they went to my website and saw that it was summer camp on there. Now that's adding in childcare.
Yeah.
That's adding in a whole extra expense. So you want to do the research to see the field that you're in, like what needs to be covered. If you're going to do childcare, if you're going to, which high ticket items as far as services that you're going to offer is going to cost more. So maybe don't offer summer camp right now, wait a couple of years and then offer summer camp. So if the ladies, they want, actually interactive, you guys know I'm interactive. If you have commercial insurance for your business right now, if you could type in one, type the number one. If you need commercial insurance, type number two. And so while they're typing in their answers, if you can tell them how they can get in contact with you, or how you would be able to assist the ladies who, I need some commercial insurance like right now, how can they reach out to you?
So, to really recap, when you are thinking about buying your commercial insurance, you got to think about what your business is doing and what you're trying to do with your business. There are certain things that once you reach a certain size of a business, you are state or federally mandated to have insurance to cover. So at some point in time, your business is going to get big enough where you absolutely have to have insurance.
And that's the goal. We want to get big.
Absolutely. So you're going to have to do it. The thing about it is you do not have to have all coverages. It's not something that insurance is not going to be all encompassing. There may be things that you may decide that you don't need to buy right now, or you really need to buy more of a higher limit for this because your business does a lot of this and you have a lot of liability in that space. So it's really understanding what your business is, understanding where you're trying to go with your business, and getting with a commercial insurance broker that isn't just going to take your check and just give you whatever policy they can possibly give you. So for the smaller businesses, you have to there's something called in the industry, we call it a BOP, but it stands for Business Owner Policy.
Write that down, people. Yes. Write that down.
Yes, you can go and get those. Those are pretty simple. Most of the time, they will cover your property and your equipment, your furnishings, and things of that nature, so that if something happens to your equipment in your home, your inventory, things of that nature, you are covered, and you can get insurance money for that. And then it will also cover general liability just in case someone sues you. If you do use, cars or your car, so forth and so on, you may want to be interested in getting a commercial insurance policy also to make sure that you are protected in that way. If you have my company focuses on mid to large companies. And so, we're
technically, what's a mid-sized company? What does that look like?
So depending on what you do, for instance, if you do something that is fairly dangerous, let's say you're doing demo for buildings or something of that nature, in which someone could critically injure themselves. Or let's say you are an IT company, but you are handling some really large state secrets or, a really large customer amount. And so you have a lot of liability in that space. That would a company that's probably doing about $15 million and paying maybe about $500,000 in insurance. That's what the companies where I start with. But there are people on my team that have Not yet, right?
Not yet.
But we do have people, and that's strictly because my company has relationships with underwriters. The way the commercial insurance industry works is it isn't just they just give you a price. The insurance company just gives you a price, and you just have to deal with it. If you are doing things very, very well as a insurance company, as your own company, you can tell that to the underwriter and get better pricing. So, for instance, if you are making sure that you are screening your employees so that they are less likely to have injuries. So maybe, getting employees that are within certain age ranges, and if they're doing sort of dangerous work, or, employees that don't have criminal histories, or, employees that don't have, drug or alcohol problems, things of that nature. If you have great safety programs, so making sure that you've trained your employees very well, making sure that you have things in place to make sure that they don't hurt themselves or hurt someone else, things of that nature, you can tell that to the underwriter, and they should understand that you are doing a much better job than everyone else that is doing the same type of business that you're doing. Therefore, you're less likely to have any losses. And again, the insurance industry is here to try to cover your losses and still make a profit.
Make money.
Yeah, you're less likely to have a loss. They don't have to charge as much because you may, you probably have a loss. So.
And I actually just thought of something while you're explaining like how to bring the price down some. So with personal insurance, our credit score matters, right? Like your credit score will depend on how that in the underwriting process, how much you'll have to pay. Does that work the same way as far as with commercial insurance, with your personal credit or business credit?
Your business credit could definitely affect it. What I would say is when you're coming to your insurance broker, everything that you really do, insurance is a performance-driven product, a performance-driven service, right? The better you do,
Mhm.
as far as reducing your losses, the less you'll pay for your insurance. So I'll give you an example.
Prove you're a
If
trustworthy person, business person.
Yes. So I'll give you for your personal car insurance. If I was to ask you, how do you reduce price or how do you pay less for commercial insurance? Your auto insurance,
Mhm.
the buyer that is not so savvy may say you shop around. You go and every year you go and look at someone else to insure you. Well, the savvy buyer would say, well, I try to reduce the amount of kids that are driving my car.
Oh
I try to
God.
reduce the amount of time, the amount of time
I
I'm
added
driving.
Imani last year.
Exactly. That's why 18-year-olds, or 16-year-olds raise your price so much because they don't know
Yes.
what they're doing. So you take safety classes,
Mm-hmm.
for driving, defensive driving classes. You do the thing that you stick into your car
Yeah.
and it'll
Make
tell
sure
you
you're
whether or
not
not
speeding. Yeah.
you're not speeding or anything like that. Try
Raise
to
your
reduce.
credit.
Yeah, you buy a house, and it shows that you're stable and you're going to pay your bills. All of these types of things affect how much you're paying for insurance for your personal
Mm-hmm.
auto. Same type of things affect your commercial insurance. So, hey, if you're training your employees well, if you are making sure that your location is safe, and you're using, if you're a salon and you're using surge protectors and so forth, and
Yeah.
your hair dryers, and
Y'all hear that,
yeah,
hairstylist? Yeah.
they don't just stay on all day and maybe catch fire or something
Yeah.
like that. You have the best products. You have really, really trained hairstylists, so they're not burning people's hair off and things of that nature. You haven't had losses. And I don't know the hair salon industry. I don't know
Yeah.
all the things that you may be suffering losses from. But the more you reduce your losses,
Mm-hmm.
the less you're going to pay for for your insurance. So
Mm-hmm.
get with a broker who is going to actually sit with you, understand your story, understand what you do well, what you're doing better than others, and can tell that story, not just someone that takes your money for an insurance policy.
I was just gonna
Also,
ask that. Yeah. Because you
also
got
review
some
your
that just
policy.
take the money and just don't
Yes.
ask the
Yes.
questions and don't want the information. We're just gonna
Yes.
write this up for you, and this is how much you pay.
Absolutely. Review your policies with your broker, right? Because again, insurance companies are for-profit entities. They do not want to pay for your losses.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to pay for something that they did not cause, right? Why?
Yeah.
So there are things that may or may not be covered. At the very least, you want to be aware what is not covered, so that
Mm-hmm.
if the time comes, you aren't expecting your insurance to do more than it actually is going to do,
Mm-hmm.
or you could pay the extra premium to make sure that it is covered for that. So review your contracts and think
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
important. Like, for example of that is if you live in Wisconsin and Milwaukee and a deer hits your car, that is not covered under your auto insurance. Like, and that's something I learned from when I was younger, when as something that happened to an adult, and I was like, really, that's not covered. So you do have to check your policies to see what is not covered, because if that happens, that money got to come out your pocket. Or you don't want it to bankrupt your business. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, we love our businesses. We're doing what we do because it's our passion. The last thing we want to do is for something to happen to where we have to go bankrupt because we didn't properly look at our paperwork and we were not covered. So
It's your baby. It's your baby. You're protecting it. It's going to allow you, along with the other. I'll put it to you like this: if you get a good, solid commercial insurance policy, and you're working with a good solid commercial insurance broker,
mhm.
it will allow you to take that off of your plate. And you
Yeah,
no longer have to worry about that. You can operate your business and go full go with that. And the better you do with reducing your losses, the less money you'll pay for it. Now you can reinvest that money back into your company and bring home more profits.
right. And I already know, based on this conversation, y'all will be in my inbox saying, who do you suggest? Who do you no. I don't give those type of recommendations. I say do your research, because if I was to recommend somebody and they dropped the ball or something happened where you told me, I've been an entrepreneur long enough to know I do not give those type of recommendations. So because I know you don't work with small businesses, but you have connections to where, again, whoever he sends you guys to, do your research, interview these
Right.
people. This is going to be your decision when you decide to sign those papers. So how can they reach out to you to get connected to somebody that can't help?
I'm on LinkedIn as T.E. Harrison. I work for Graham Company. You can email me directly. It's tharrison@grahamco.com. And when I say Graham, it's like graham cracker, spelled like someone's last name, Graham, not like Instagram or Graham of sugar or something like that. So you can reach out to me directly. Either of those platforms. There are people that are connected with my company that are able to utilize our infrastructure and our resources to be able to help you and give you a more consultative view on your commercial insurance. So you can reach out to me, but as always, you certainly can reach out to anyone in your network. But just being a more informed buyer will allow you to get a better product from your commercial insurance. It doesn't have to be a transactional buy, like you just go on, Geico and get a policy in 50
Yeah.
minutes. It's not supposed to be like that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that was amazing. That was actually very, very amazing and informative. So after this, ladies, if you don't go get commercial insurance, because he even said like you can get something, you said as low as $20, just depending on what your needs are. At the very minimum, go and do the research and see what it is that you need for your business. You need to cover this baby. You need to make sure that if something happens, you're covered. So this was awesome. So this was great. I hope that you guys learned a lot through this process. Make sure you continue to check in Boss Lady University on Facebook. And if you have questions, comments, reach out, invite some friends to the group, because we're all about teaching you how to be a great entrepreneur, laying a solid foundation and building your empire. So thank you again, Thomas, for joining us. And
Thank you for the
peace
invite.
out, guys.
Good luck, ladies. Let's make millions and millions of dollars. And
Millions.
then you get a huge, huge business, then come holler at
And
me.
then come see you. All right.